Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a beautiful Monday. Yesterday, I attended the Gor Mahia and AFC match between the match that was attended by both Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta. And I was in a position to see the leaders that attended there. Now, there is this meeting that was held on Friday in Raila Odinga's Mombasa residence that has really sparked, and after that meeting, better part of this weekend Raila spent with Sabina Chege. And that has really been that elicited some debate over the weekend about Raila's new bonding relationship with Sabina Chege. After completing the Central Kenya tour, where Sabina Chege attended all the rallies, Raila Odinga flew to Mombasa. Now they held, I think, a youth hip hop rally online. Then he was in Mombasa. Then in Mombasa, that's when the meeting that was held between him, Sabina Chege, and Raila Odinga and other handlers. So it is after Mombasa that they took a flight to Nairobi. And when they took a flight to Nairobi, they landed directly at the venue where athletics was going on. That was on Saturday. That is why you could see Raila with Shabal and Sabina Chege. So they landed there together and attended that event. The following day, on Sunday, that was yesterday, Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, Sabina Chege, and Peter Kenneth were again in Kasarani. Now, the Saturday event that Raila arrived with Sabina Chege and Shabal was also attended by Sabina Chege's husband. So he also attended that event. And so that caught the attention of many, because if Sabina would be just going there as part of his own personal engagement with his family, then he wouldn't have gone there with Raila. But the fact that they got there with Sabina Chege, the husband, and the rest of the team, that shows you that, of course, in her capacity there, she went under direct invitation of President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. This is coming at a time where the interview panel, running the interview panel that was constituted by Azimio Council, shortlisted 11 candidates to be Raila Odinga's running mate. And one thing that has come out is that Jubilee Party have presented the name of Sabina Chege and Peter Kenneth in that shortlist. Now in this video, I want us to look at the critical information that is coming out that Sabina Chege is President Uhuru Kenyatta's wild card on Raila Odinga's running mate. It's wild card because I think in that list, apart from the two ODM names, that is Hassan Joho and Paranya, she's becoming third list expected after weeks of Martha Karua and the rest of the team coming. If you're watching this video and you have not yet subscribed, I just realized we're just 50 subscribers short of 18,000. Kindly subscribe to our channel and also click the notification bell. I want to have a question from someone watching this video from Mount Kenya. If Sabina Chege is picked, do you think she can bring Mount Kenya vote, or it will be President Uhuru Kenyatta's stake? That is the question. Now, are you within Nairobi and its environs and you experience frequent blackouts? You're staying in the areas of Runda, Lavington, Karen, or maybe you're putting up a house up country and you experience frequent blackouts in those areas. Then the solution you need is a power backup system. Contact Installate Company. Their number is 0722 818 883. 0722 818 883. Now, one thing you need to, I've just realized is interesting about Instalight is they can integrate your power heating system with the solar power, and this can help minimize your electricity bill to nearly zero. What is an amazing solution? Everyone in this world is looking for a solution. Then you need to check out on Instalight company and get yourself a package. President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is signaling a possibility of favoring Sabina Chege, and there is one thing, there are two things that are intact there. One, Sabina Chege is a Jubilee member. This is a very critical issue to be, this is a very critical aspect that is put into consideration, because the Jubilee party is being revived in central Kenya, and for president to maintain grip of being the kingpin, he must make sure that the Jubilee party is still alive. Now, if Raila's running mate comes from Jubilee, it's going to instill confidence on the aspirants from Mount Kenya that are vying through Jubilee, and in fact, most likely, the aspirants will be putting their posters, they will be putting either Raila or Sabina Chege, but then, or they will be putting both. With the fact that Jubilee party is producing a running mate, is going to instill confidence on Mount Kenya aspirants, so that the ones that feel uncomfortable to put Raila's poster there might just go through Sabina Chege, and with that they can garner more votes. But as that is also happening, apart from the Jubilee aspect, there is Sabina Chege is from Murang'a. Now, if you follow the latest opinion polls, area where UDA has polarized the youth, or let me say where they enjoy, they have a charged audience, a charged following, is Murang'a. This is because of the emphatic the efforts by Ndindi Nyoro, Irungu Kang'ata, and Alice Wahome. Of course, these three leaders, one is vying for governor, so that means this is someone that is really campaigning like in the whole county. What this portrays is that one, when you pick one of their own, for example, when you pick Sabina Chege and William Ruto goes to pick out of Murang'a, they can tilt the votes that might go to Raila through Sabina Chege. That is one thing where Murang'a factor is also key. Murang'a factor also squares out the interest of the Mount Kenya billionaires that are mostly perceived to be coming from Murang'a County. Actually, someone was telling me that the economy of central Kenya, the people that have the money, the Peter Mungas and the CSK Meshares and the rest, are from Murang'a, and they have always insisted that for them to support Raila Odinga, they needed the running mate to come from Murang'a for the first time, because for them they are also looking at someone they can trust with their interest, and that is why that is the sole reason why they were trying to front Peter Kenneth. So if they also wanted someone from Murang'a, Sabina Chege is from Murang'a. Now, the Murang'a aspect is also coming out this way. I was just doing my research. When Mwai Kibaki was the president, he only had two ministers. He had two ministers from Murang'a. That is Chris, not Murang'a. He only had John Michuki from Murang'a. Then President Uhuru Kenyatta only has Macharia from Murang'a, but in Nyeri and the rest, the president in Nyeri, they have Kagwe and they have Joe Macharia. So if in case of just balancing and also giving more credit, the president is more likely to give Murang'a compared to Nyeri. Now it can't go to Kiambu because he is from Kiambu, and so the politics of presidency not going beyond River Chania might play out at that moment, and that is why the regional factor is also a very important issue when you are talking about who the running mate is to be given. But let me just jog your mind a bit. When Kalonzo Musyoka was joining Azimio la Umoja, he anchored his trust on President Uhuru Kenyatta and was more asking the president to take charge because according to him, Raila could betray them. Now what happened? If Sabina Chege is picked, then that will be the choice of President Uhuru Kenyatta, who Kalonzo trusts. But if they go for perhaps Raila Odinga, they go for Martha Karua, then that is Raila Odinga's direct choice. If they go for Peter Kenneth, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta's choice, but Peter Kenneth is perceived as a deep state candidate. Now, this is the catch, that if the running is going to be given to Sabina Chege, it's a wild card that will also find Kalonzo, will put Kalonzo in a very off-guard position, because he cannot now start competing with Sabina Chege, because Sabina Chege is like a daughter to Kalonzo Musyoka. It has actually belittled the intensity on that running mate position, and with that Kalonzo will easily be accommodated, and I want to explain why. So if you pick Martha Karua, if you pick Sabina Chege, that will then tone down, because it is going to relieve Raila of this pressure from Kambani. What will come out is President Uhuru Kenyatta fronted Sabina Chege. So President Uhuru Kenyatta is the person who picked Sabina Chege. Then the people that complain that Raila did not pick will then have to attack the president, something that the likes of Sonko and even Kalonzo Musyoka do not want to fall out with Uhuru Kenyatta, because if he falls out with Uhuru Kenyatta and he has already fallen out with Raila Odinga, then where is he? That is going to be key. But this is why Sabina is also very interesting. His loyalty and lack of presidential ambitions can give the Azimio a stability for the next 5 years. I was just talking to a political analyst also from Central Kenya, and he's a lawyer host. He was telling me that what is happening in Azimio is, after, if they form the government, they will most likely stick together. Even though some of them will not be comfortable with Raila's policy or how maybe Raila is running government, but they will not have an option, because their lifeline is also within the Azimio. For them even to have successful careers and launch presidential campaigns, for someone like Kalonzo, he will just have to be in that government, at least benefit, get some resources so that he can mount campaign, also make the necessary networks. Even though some of them might then walk out and form an opposition movement with William Samoei Ruto. But lastly, Sabina is a double-edged sword on two. One is the gender card, because the question of the gender has also been coming. So what Jubilee are, or what the presidential strategists are trying to look at, especially on Raila Odinga's side, is how they can tilt the voting demographic of William Ruto in central Kenya. Now that's where Sabina comes in. In her, there is a youthful, appealing leader. Two, there is a woman. So she can reach out to the women of Mount Kenya and the women constituency in the country. Two, she can reach out to the youth of Mount Kenya. I just watched recently, I think it was last month, when she was holding a meeting with the students from MTC in Murang'a. From Murang'a MTC, she was so appealing, and she was talking that deep. She has posted herself as someone who is truly agitating for the rightful position of Mount Kenya in the next government. With that, she's going to tilt. And I mentioned now that the youth in Mount Kenya are supporting William Samoei Ruto. In the event that William Ruto goes for, unlikely event that William Ruto goes for Musalia Mudavadi, or perhaps even William Ruto goes to the other side of Mount Kenya, now that there have been rumors that he's also fronting either Munturi, Kindiki, or perhaps Musalia Mudavadi, what is most likely to happen is that leaders, like for example, if he decides to pick Peter Kenneth, for example, Rigathi Gachagua, there are leaders around UDA, leaders like Moses Kuria, who seems not to have a really formidable stand, that will even cross over and support Sabina Chege. someone like Moses Kuria is not so much indebted to Kenya Kwanza, because if anything, they're seeing the same governor position, Moses Kuria and Wamatangi, and they're in the same coalition. So these are some of the issues that might really make the president to make it to front Sabina Chege. President, I want to say, is our chess master, because if Sabina Chege is picked, then I can tell you straight in your eye that this was not hatched today, this was not hatched yesterday, this was not hatched in February, this was hatched sometime last year, because Sabina Chege went to the Nyanza region to do voter mobilization, and I used to ask in what capacity, but then indirectly they were just trying to do an introduction. And now the truth of the matter here is that Sabina Chege is a big campaign machinery. She was part of the Hassan Joho, Junet and Ledamo Lekina, and by the way, if you keen, she's been campaigning even alone with the Ledamo Lekina team. And so if she gets to that ticket, Raila will split with the team, and Sabina Chege will split with Hassan Joho, Ledamo Lekina, Babu Wino and Junet team to do 2 parallel campaigns, because the truth of the matter is she's actually being grouped. I saw her, I watched her when she was speaking yesterday after, when people were leaving the stadium, the Kasarani stadium, and she has the demeanor. Of course, people were listening to her. That tells you that, of course, she's someone that cannot be underestimated. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my analysis.